Hey guys, and welcome or welcome back. Thank you, either way. Potato Land, the podcast. Strictly because I wouldn't want to, and you can see I have added, if you're a second time listener / viewer or not, you could see, you can see that I added a title up front on top of the, I don't know how you say it. I put the title of the podcast in the intro here because I don't know, you just steam ahead. I put 10 episodes away already, laid 10 episodes down, or however you say this. And there's enough work in there where I feel like this is beginning to feel my own, and I wouldn't want to piss off any conglomerates. Do your own research or Googling or whatever. Gosh, I wonder when the phrase Google will become obsolete. But check it out yourself, and if you determine that it could be dicey, I suppose get back to me. But I ain't gonna mention anybody else. This is my title of my podcast, and I don't think that butts up against anybody else's anything. And another another item to get out of the way off the bat here, besides how are you doing? Okay, is you might have already subtly, or not so subtly, just heard some of it. But essentially, I think the last couple episodes have been mild. Okay, look, I think every episode is great. I do. I stand behind it. But a mild difference in the last two podcasts where I would argue that I'm repeating myself. So just trying not to do that. It's a new year. It's a great resolution. That'll be my one resolution. Is to try and keep the quality up. And I want all of these. May I handle any studio problems that I may have in the future? But I want you guys to get all the punch, all the bang out of every single one I lay down. Episode 11, how cool is that? And another segment idea, if we're gonna drop a segment because it's a little rippy-offy when it comes to a bit that Craig Ferguson would do on his late night show. Oh shit, here I go repeating myself. Oops, I swear. I'm gonna beep that out because it's early into the podcast here, or show, or repeating myself again already. But not to mention his name again, but we got rid of this segment, or we're going to kill it, or it's dying quickly at least. But to add another to, fill it in with where the vacuum is left, I thought of one just right off the bat, right before we started here. We could add a segment where we take a deep breath. So not to get too excited about it or nothing, but it might be a good time to practice it and then get it out of the way. You want to try? Now I know who I'm talking to. At the moment, nobody. And even in the future, when I drop the showdown on YouTube here, I will still be talking to no one unless everybody finds out that, and you guys start. Otherwise, I'm talking to, a lot of something that has life, but doesn't have all of its olfactory senses. Oh crap, I'm really in the weeds with this word. I've never even said that word before. I don't know if it exists. But we could certainly keep that segment. I love the coming up with the smartest word you can think of each episode. So if that's a word, I'm not going to repeat it because I'm too embarrassed. Then look at me, fucking right off the bat. And oops, I'm probably going to have to edit that swear word out as well. Oh gosh, what a mess to start off the podcast like this. But I think we're getting somewhere. Where do we go from here? Yeah, happy to have you guys, whoever you are. It's an honor that you would let me entertain you. How weird is that, right? I know. But it's great. And I feel it. I feel it anyway, even if, it shall not be felt. What I mean is, this is a time machine. I'm in a time machine too. So, dring, dring, dring. And by the way, in the future, your cell phones will be inside your hand. Calling the future. Working on bringing the podcast quality up a little bit. And so I always write stuff before I get started. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I always go to the notes. And my notes, if I'm being 100% honest, my notes sometimes move. They move up on the screen over here. Don't let me do that to you again. And sometimes I have both of them, some down here or whatever. But I'm not going to look at them. Right now you have my 100% undivided attention. And I'm just going to try and come up with what I wanted to talk to you guys about this week. And give you your bang for your buck, which is not much unless you see ads on stuff like this. Well, I can remember one thing I wrote down, and that would be carrying on from a topic we brought up in the last episode. We just touched on it. So, and I love to do that. In fact, that's probably the strongest bit we have, a segment bit, where I will grab a little sort of nugget from the last episode, and we will pull it out, dissect it, and hopefully cover the topic fully. And this little nugget was that I brought up the topic of anthropomorphizing or something. That word doesn't count. And I looked it up, but I forgot how to say it. I'm gonna check my notes real quickly. They're in a different location now, so if you see my eyes dart here, anthropomorphize. I said it correctly, I think. Anyway, if you see me dart my eyes down there, then you know I'm cheating. But boy, that leaves me with something to not look at for the next few minutes here, right? Can't wait till we're closing this one out. I'm just kidding. Anthropomorphization. If you honestly, it doesn't matter to me. I think ultimately when it comes to animals or, animals, right? Insects. You can assume that they got thoughts and feelings and they think about things like the future and stuff if you want. Or you could say it's instinct. And I think actually scientists are kind of smart to not assume anything. You know, that's very intelligent to say you're wrong or say you're dumb when you think you're dumb. But I think it's also embedded in, all I wanted to say was I think it's also embedded in your genes or your DNA or your cells have a certain form of memory or something. I don't know what it is. I'm no biologist or scientist in any way whatsoever. But yeah, so there you go. Anthropomorphizing to some extent is a bit of a I don't know what's less than a crime, a misdemeanor. It qualifies as a misdemeanor to some extent, in my eyes, in all of our eyes, right? Speaking of all of our eyes, and I didn't write this down, and I didn't necessarily want to discuss it, but I'm not looking at notes for sure. And pulling out another nugget from a previous episode. I'm not sure when or which one, but maybe as far back as 2 episodes ago. And don't get me wrong, I'm not even. I think we could break this one open. The question is, in the time being, I mentioned that maybe we all got over the fact that this virus going around is real. I still believe it, as much as I still believe what I said earlier about anthro so and so other. But you could assume that, oh yeah, you know what? I'm starting to just feel how I would be barreling into this topic without actually having genuine interest in it. But I think there are clues where you can you pick up along the way and assume that I'm just processing where I look when I'm processing my thoughts and stuff. And I noticed the camera that I am recording myself is glitchy, so hopefully that doesn't come up as a problem in the future. But because I'm also quick timing and stuff, and not to change the subject too quickly, but yeah, there's clues you can. So you find clues in society, and it's hard to sort of pick them out, but you sort of get an idea that the public is, yes, definitely turning around when it comes to believing whether or not this is an actual virus or not. I'll give you one. I'll try and give you one. The fact that people are discussing whether or not they're getting the vaccine. This is all people you listen to and people in your life and stuff. But the fact that everybody in everyone's family, possibly, is discussing it, the word on the street. Sheesh, I'm getting so nervous because of the glitching screen behind me. I do keep up a little screen of me talking, but I don't look at me, sort of in the mirror kind of a thing, because I put it behind the camera lens so that I can't see myself. But I can see my hairdo is, it's, if you want me to do an impression of what it looks like, that sort of thing. I didn't know I moved my head that much until, starts glitching or whatever. Gosh, let's get interesting already. I was going to change the subject on to something I wanted to talk about, which is in my notes. And that was podcast software. Another thing that we talked about last podcast, but hey, I'm not going to throw out a question at you guys and then not address it in the next episode. I asked if you guys could hit me up with podcast software, and I said I found something or on some level, but either way, I did more Googling, more research, and there's just, would you believe it, there's no program where you could set up and just podcast from. What a simple business idea, if you ask me. No software program, and I suppose you could add hardware, but before you go live on YouTube, YouTube does say, hey, you're going to need some so-and-so, and it's this weird word I've never heard of, but it's either hardware or software which helps you record live on YouTube, and I don't know what that is. That might be some weird program or what, but I wasn't tempted to look that deep into it. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to get to the notes because I would love for this thing to come out as a semi-decent episode, and hopefully it comes around towards the end and bam, bap you across the side of the face. And you know, everything, the video turns out smooth and all that stuff. I'm going to do a lot more hand motions just to, you know, how do you say, give the computer processor extra work. Going to the notes. That one is not applicable. I have 9 notes here I wrote down, sort of things I think about to discuss. And we covered okay, so I wanted to pick up 2 so I'm not going back and it doesn't look like I'm going back all the time, but let's just talk about this one. It would be, I'm almost too late to talk about it. You could argue that I'm 1 episode late, week, but, or more. But since migrating over to this channel, I have an extra video before I ever started. In fact, this was around the same time I started podcasting, or trying it anyway, a long time ago. But I had these, on this channel, I have these private videos, and you can make them public or private. And some were, well, one of them was public, and I kept that one. But I looked through my private videos, and yes, there was, I already mentioned this, so I'm not going to mention it again. That would be 3 times total. This video that's up here on my YouTube, I don't know if I should take it down. I certainly don't talk to the person anymore. But you have this extra bonus video that has nothing to do with me trying to podcast. And what am I doing with it? You know what I mean? So it's there. It was my first venture into doing open mics. I would, you know, back in the day, I would use a large wooden guitar body to shield myself from me and the public, the audiences, so I could get out there and perform something on stage for people. And so you see a little bit of my early days in it. And I only have done, all by myself, I think I only went to 1 open mic. And boy, did I have the jitters. And it's nerve-wracking, guys. For all of you wannabe stand-up comics or whatever you call it, major props to you. I like that I said wannabe. You know, we could turn some of them negative terms positive on this show. So yeah, let's just go back to the notes. I think we covered that. Wow, that's everything, guys. I really have talked about everything. Now for the part of the episode where you take a deep breath. I would like to have something that would just be right off the cuff, you know. Should have probably spoke about this first, but part of the sort of the lackluster, if there is any, in the last couple of episodes, or yeah, I mean, you know, let's just say I didn't use that term correctly, is because I'm working out a schedule and it gets a little, you know, scheduling my life or whatever, and you kind of want to, if you can make money during COVID times, why wouldn't you? So I try and have a work schedule, and this podcast, it's being recorded at the right time and it comes out at the right time, but I sort of have to work around it a little bit. And it's no big deal. It only takes a night for me to get it all done and out there. So no complaints here, but you do have to, without saying the W word, it's a four-letter word, and it ends with a K. I have to kind of just work around it. So it's, I would apologize if I said the word, but we're not going to bleep it because it's not a bad word, and I'm not going to even say it. I don't know how fun that was, but just wanted to share it with you guys. And then I'll get better at my ums and stuff because we got this new, if I say too much, the gain could be, and then here I go saying other phrases that I've said a million times, mentioned that I've said a million times as well. Quality of podcast. This thing is just going off the rails. We could work on it. And awkward silences are going to be healthy at some point. I mean, come on, look at me. I've already done 10 of these. And if you ask me, I think they're all banging. They're all bangers. Besides this one. People are so nice out in the world, You go to anywhere and everybody's friendly. There's another clue for what we were talking about earlier. Oh, what else? Where do we go from here? Hopefully everybody's year is ramping up. Slow start. It's a weird one, probably for everybody around the world. Still not really sure if I'm really going to get that vaccine. Got to be 100% honest. Everything else is, we're doing okay. I'm not sure. We should just get out of here, guys. I mean, I wrote all this stuff down. I talked about it all. Oh, product review. I can't believe how bad this one's getting. I bought equipment, and if I wanted to leave a product review, I would do it online, so I'm not going to talk about it. Never mind. I jammed out before this one a little bit. What I mean by that is listen to jams. Something I'd love to talk about. Going through your old records and stuff. We have all this extra time, and here I am almost complaining about putting together a schedule, but yet looking at old records or listening to old records I used to listen to. How fun is that, I mean, I watch movies pretty casually in terms of, will I ever remember anything besides maybe one scene? When I listen to music, it's the same. It feels quite the same. I feel like nobody talks about this. So when you listen to your favorite band or whatever, it's not even a word for word thing, until I started listening to, I suppose, songs that got a little bit deeper in terms of, the subject matter they cover. I already told you guys one of my favorite acts, but punk rock, pop, or popular punk rock in general, when the subject matter of the song gets like, let's say when they talk about like vegans or just anything, politically correct or government stuff, or you tend to get into it, but I am not quite sure how many. It's fascinating to Google the lyrics and then, because karaokeing is fun. And I'm not above any of doing anything like that at all. In fact, I love karaoke, but you're definitely not going to find these songs on karaoke. And so just sort of singing along or listening while reading the lyrics, there's got to be a term for that. They should come up with one. We could do it right here, right now. Reading along? I don't mind that. Let's see if it catches. Oh, yeah. It's interesting. I have, besides choruses and even choruses, I don't even know the words. It's crazy how, the percentage of lyrics you never understood while enjoying music. It goes to show you how great music itself is. And maybe moving forward, I will write all my songs music first. I think it's a great start. I can just lay down a melody on top of it afterwards, no matter what. Melody is always important though, huh? All right, well, since I got nothing else here, let's get out of here. So wrap this up. What a almost complete waste of time. Barely talked about anything. Barely discussed my life, my personal life. But yeah, let's get out of here, guys. I can't believe, the one thing I'll be happy about this episode is we went into chill mode. Here I am in, experimenting with different tones of voice. That's nice. All right, guys. But a big bye-bye to you. Have a great week. Wow, it seems like worldwide that there is a little bit of a slump in everybody's energy levels. No? I'd hate to feel included. I love you guys. I'm going to get out there. I haven't been doing as great as I want to be in terms of getting out there. Maybe 2 trips outside of my house per day would be ideal for me. But I'm going to, and not to mention other things and stuff, but I'm going to do more of that and see people and hopefully, but I think I did pretty good this week, just not perfect. Do some more of that and see how the public is feeling. And before I jump into any of these podcasts, because we're not going to do another one of these, that's for sure. I like a little bit of a relaxed tone, but I'm not sure, it really makes me, it feels like, before we go, it feels like when somebody tells you to do a podcast by yourself, they're telling you to wither away and die. I feel pretty good. I'm not saying it, but it's either that or the January dumps. People are in the slumps or something. I don't think it's a real thing. Never heard of it. January is supposed to be a great time of the year. Yeah. So if not me, you guys, all right? Cheers. And I was going to say from now on, we no longer talk about just what day it is or whatever, or week or month, but we can. There's no real rules there. Guys, have a great month. Get that vaccine if you want it. Don't get microchipped. But yeah, I love you all, and at least have a good weekend. Get out there along with me, and we'll experience something together. Look, I'm aware I have no viewers. Okay, this is why I keep going back to that. But if you're seeing this, you're seeing this. So get out there, have a good weekend, and we'll both have a good weekend together but separately. That's all I meant to say. Okay? because I love you, because you're watching this. Unbelievable. I mean, we touched upon like just barely anything. In terms of humor is what I'm talking about as well. So, wow. Let's get out of this, and hopefully it doesn't impact my confidence or what too much. All right, guys. From me to you, love you. Ciao. Happy New Year, and all the rest of it. Peace.